loves to sew. So I just want to say a big, huge thank you to all my members who have made all my projects and bought the boxes. Keep on getting them. They're going to be available for the new releases until at least October. So if you enjoy sewing and you want a quick, easy project, go to my website, sarahlovessew.com or .co.uk. This month we're going to be making this amazing tote bag. So really, really quick, easy sew, but just for a really handy, lovely tote. So get your boxes out and we will start to make it. Okay, so we're going to make this lovely tote bag today. First thing that you need to do is get your fabric out of your box, and just on the edge where you've got the selvage, we just want to cut that off. So with scissors or a ruler and a rotary cutter, just want to cut that away. And then the next thing that you're going to do is cut 2 strips 4 inches wide each, and these will be the straps. So get a ruler or a measuring tape and do 4 inches top and bottom, and then get yourself a pair of scissors or rotary cutter and ruler. So you're going to have one handle and then do another 4 inches for the next one. And this is the technique that we've done with many of my projects, where we fold the handles lengthways in half and then press, open them out, and then fold the edges into the middle, and then we close it up and sew down both sides. So it's a really strong, secure handle, like so, and there'll be no raw edges, and it's really, really strong. Okay, once you've got those 2 strips, we will then put the main bag fabric to the side and do just what I said. So this is a really quite a nice thick fabric here, so if you don't want to get your iron out to press, you can just do it with a thumb press or a finger press. So you put the long edges together, trying not to stretch the fabric too much because it has got a little bit of a stretch, not massively, but when you are manipulating it you can sort of pull it a little bit out of shape if you're not too careful. And then you can press down with your thumb or a nail, and then you open it out again and use that middle line as a guide to bring this edge in, and another thumb press. And we're going to do exactly the same with the other handle as well, and then this side to the middle line. And this is just a really quick way of creating, oops, not the camera, creating nice, neat, strong straps, like so. And then once you've got those 2 in the middle, close it up and then pin or clip those 2 edges together, and then you sew. So you'll be clipping it all the way down the side, and then you're going to sew close as you can to the edge, but making sure you're getting both sides in all the way down, to make the edges neat on either side, because you'll see we're attaching them to the bag on the inside, so we want that nicely hemmed. Towards the end you just want to, if it's a bit fluffy like that, I tend to just get rid of those extra bits, open it out, fold it over by about ½ centimetre, fold it back in, and just tuck those ends in before you close it up, and then you have a nice neat edge there as well. So peg that in place or pin it in place. My little clips. So you do that for both ends, and then you're going to sew down all the way along that edge, making sure that's nice and neat and closed, and then just to make it look good, sew down the other side as well. So do that with both of your straps. Okay, so once you've sewn both straps, both ends, down both sides, put the straps aside and grab your fabric for the main bag. So we have this lovely print, and you want to fold it right sides together, like so. And you can start to see the size of the tote that we're going to make. Okay, so just like we did with the other one, we're just going to cut off this little bit of furry edge. Just trim it down, just make the sewing a bit neater. And do it on the other side as well. And then we're going to turn the top edge before we sew the sides. So once you've trimmed off all that extra fluff, you can open it out, and with the wrong side facing up, just get rid of that, we are going to turn down the hem. So make sure you've got the print running the right way, so the monkey's on the tree that way, and we're going to just fold over 1/2 centimetre edge or thereabouts, and again just finger press. I'm going to tilt this camera a bit. Finger press. So you can do this by using ruler, or if you just want to do a quick job, you can do it by eye like I'm doing it. So once you've done that first 1/2 centimetre edge down, we're then going to flip that over as well, and then you'll have a nice neat top of your bag. So this will also give the opening a little bit of structure. Can you see what I'm doing? This camera's just not quite right today. So you can press this with a hot iron or finger press, or you can use one of these little rollers, like a wallpaper little roller, just something just to get that initial crease in before we then go and do the second fold. Okay, so once you've done that first fold, then you can just use that to then fold over, and you're going to fold it over by, I have to measure it, give you a measurement, it's about 3/4 of an inch, or yeah, just under 2 centimetres really. So you've got that first one, and then you're folding over, so you've got a decent edge at the top there, and then you can peg that, or if you're really feeling brave, you can do this as you go along when you're sewing, so you can just sew a little bit and then stop and fold, whichever you find the easiest way to do it. You might want to press it with an iron so it's nice and sharp, which again makes the sewing a little bit easier. So we're just creating this nice hem. So once you've done that all the way along the top edge of the bag, you're then going to use straight stitch and just sew a couple of millimetres away from the edge all the way along, so that you've got that nice top of the bag done. So now that we've done the top edge, we're going to start sewing the side seams. So if it's a little bit wonky on the side there, you can just trim it so that the sides line up nicely. I've just cut a little strip off where it wasn't quite even, and then you pin the sides together and along the bottom, and then we're going to sew with a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. So we've got a decent leftover seam, because what we do is we turn the seams over to make these really neat little seams on the inside. So you're going to be sewing down the side and along the bottom the 1.5 seam allowance. So let's go and do that. Okay, so now we've sewn along the edge, the side edge and the bottom, we're going to box out the corners. So to do this, we're going to cut out a 2.5-inch square from both corners. So get your measuring tape or your ruler and mark that out. So we're going to go 2.5, and we're doing it from, not from the edge, but from the stitch where we've sewn that seam allowance. Okay, now we need a ruler and just make sure that's nice and straight. And then we can cut that out. Find my little metal ruler. I have to use this. Okay, and then you're going to snip that out of the way. And this is what will give the shape to the bottom of the tote. So you'll have a flat bottom, for want of another phrase. Okay, 2.5 inches. Both sides. And then, as we've done before, when we've done this, boxing out the corners, we will sew the little gaps closed in a second. So it's 2.5 inches off each corner. Like so. And then you open up the corners like so. Grab each piece, each side away from each other, and then just line up the seams. So press these open so it lies nice and flat, and then just manipulate the fabric so you can then peg or pin those closed like that. So you're going to be sewing across here with a 1.5 seam allowance, and when you sew with the seams open. So straight stitch 1.5 centimeters from the edge. So once you've sewn those corners, you can turn your bag the right way round, and the last thing that you've got to do now is to fix the handles. So you've got the straps that you made earlier. All you need to do is to work out where you want these. So to make it nice and symmetrical, fold the bag in half and then find a place that I think's right, and you just put the strap onto the folded over edge. So you don't want it going too far onto the bag, so just pin that in place, making sure that the strap isn't twisted, and match it with the other corresponding side, so you know you've got them in the centre. And then open out the bag and just straighten those out if they've moved a little bit, and check the strap's not twisted, and then do the same on the other side. And just check that they're far enough apart for you to put your arm through. So you can measure this on your own arm or whoever you're going to give the bag to. And then we're just going to fix those straps by sewing a rectangle with a cross through it, as we have done on this one. So you can see there. So you do that on all 4 handles, and that is then your bag done. So you've just got the optional extra there if you want to do the side seams a bit neater. So let's do the straps first. So there we have it, the bag complete with straps. So now all we've got left to do is, if you fancy doing this, it's not a necessity, just so that these seams don't fray at the top. We've done a nice big chunky seam allowance, so we can just fold these over. So you press them open and then very simply tuck in the bottom underneath, try and keep it as uniform as you can, and just press again and do it all the way to the top. You might need to fold this one down a little bit into a bit of a point, and then just clip those in place. And pin them. You have to pin these ones on the side seams. And then you'll be sewing through onto the other side, so it'll just have another double line each side. So that will just tidy up those little side seams, and you do them on both sides. So you're tucking under as you go with a little clip. And then a pin. So you can then sew a line down either side, and that will give you nice, neat, funky seams on the inside. And do it to the other side seam. Oh, there's only one side seam, isn't there? Because we've got the fold on that side. Yeah, so it'll just tidy up the one side seam all the way down to the bottom. Like so. So you can take that to the sewing machine and sew that up. Forgot to mention, along the bottom here you can just zigzag to finish off the seams for the bottom one, and then keep those open so that's nice and flat when the bag's open, and zigzag along the ends. Don't worry if you can't get into that seam, just start where you can. And that is it. So you just trim your little threads and then your bag is ready to go. Well done. Nice tote, all made by hand.